Lonely CEO thought he was meeting a model on a blind date, but it's a poor single mom who stole his heart. Ethan Cole was the kind of man people whispered about but never really knew. At 35, he had everything: his own tech company, a Manhattan penthouse, and a reputation for being the youngest CEO to make the Fortune 500 list. But when the office lights dimmed and the noise faded, he sat alone at his mahogany desk, staring at the city skyline, wondering why success felt so empty. His assistant, tired of watching him eat dinner alone, signed him up for an exclusive blind date app that promised real connections. Ethan agreed, half amused, half curious. The profile said her name was Lily, a freelance artist, early 30s, passionate about life. He pictured a runway model or an influencer, someone glamorous enough to match his world. So on a chilly Friday evening, he showed up early at a cozy Italian restaurant in Soho. He wore his best navy suit, his Rolex glinting under the candlelight. Every woman who walked in, he glanced up, waiting for her. Then the hostess led in a woman who didn't fit the picture at all. She was wearing a simple floral dress and a faded denim jacket. Her hair was tied in a loose bun, strands escaping around a tired but gentle face. Her eyes, warm hazel, carried stories no luxury brand could ever match. "Ethan?" she asked softly, holding her purse close. He blinked. "Lily?" She smiled nervously. "That's me." For a moment, he almost thought there'd been a mistake. But then she sat down, and within minutes, the conversation shifted everything. She wasn't a model. She was a single mom. Her husband had passed away 3 years ago in a construction accident. She worked 2 part-time jobs, art teacher by day, waitress by night, just to keep her little boy in school. Ethan listened, something he rarely did. No one had ever spoken to him like that, open, sometimes painted late at night after her son fell asleep. Not to sell, but just to breathe. Ethan found himself smiling, not out of politeness, but from something deeper, something he hadn't felt in years: connection. Her words carried no pretense, no hidden agenda. She wasn't there for his money or his title. She was there because she believed in second chances, even for herself. Halfway through dinner, Lily's phone buzzed. She looked at the screen, panic flickering in her eyes. "I'm so sorry," she said, grabbing her coat. "My babysitter just texted. My son's sick. I have to go." Ethan stood up immediately. "Let me drive you." She hesitated. "You don't have to. I want to." The ride was quiet, the city lights streaming past like ghosts of forgotten dreams. When they arrived at her small apartment building in Brooklyn, Ethan followed her upstairs. The hallway smelled faintly of old paint and laundry detergent. Inside, a little boy lay on a worn couch, flushed with fever. Ethan knelt beside him, instinctively checking his forehead. "He's burning up," he said softly. Lily nodded, trying to stay composed. "The clinic's closed and the pharmacy won't deliver this late." Without a word, Ethan grabbed his phone, called his private doctor, and within 20 minutes, a car pulled up with the medication. Lily watched, stunned. No one had ever done something like that for her. When the boy finally drifted to sleep, she turned to Ethan. Her eyes glistened. "Why are you doing this?" He smiled faintly. "Because no one ever did it for me." That night, Ethan didn't return to his penthouse. He sat on her small couch, talking with Lily until dawn. She told him about losing everything, but still choosing hope. He told her about gaining everything, but losing himself. As the morning light crept through the curtains, Lily whispered, "You're not what I expected." He chuckled. "Neither are you." In the weeks that followed, Ethan found excuses to visit. Sometimes he'd bring groceries. Sometimes he'd take her son to the park. Slowly, the walls between their worlds began to crumble. The man who once measured life in profits and deadlines started measuring it in laughter, in paint-stained fingers, in bedtime stories. Then one rainy afternoon, Lily's son ran into his arms at the park, shouting, "Mom says you're her favorite person." Ethan froze, then laughed. It was the purest sound he'd made in years. That evening, as he walked Lily home, he finally said, "You changed something in me. I thought I was meeting someone to impress me. Instead, I met someone who reminded me what being human feels like." She looked up at him, eyes shining. "Sometimes the right person doesn't change your world. They give it back to you." Months later, at a small art gallery downtown, Ethan stood beside Lily as her paintings sold out. The same woman who once painted in secret because she thought no one would care. And when someone asked how they'd met, Ethan smiled and said, "On a blind date." That finally opened my eyes. Moral, sometimes, love doesn't arrive wrapped in perfection. It walks in quietly, wearing a faded denim jacket, and teaches you that kindness is the most beautiful thing you can give or receive. The art gallery buzzed softly with murmured conversations and camera clicks. But Ethan wasn't looking at the paintings, he was watching her. Lily stood in front of her first sold piece, her hazel eyes glistening, her soft brown hair glowing under the white lights. It was a painting of her son sleeping peacefully, titled Hope in Small Spaces. When the buyer walked away, Lily turned to Ethan, still stunned. "I don't understand. Someone actually bought it?" Ethan smiled. "They didn't just buy your art, Lily. They saw you." Her hand brushed against his, a small gesture that felt larger than words. For a man who'd built his world around contracts and numbers, this moment, simple, human, uncalculated, felt like the greatest success of his life. Later that night, Ethan walked them home. The streets were quiet, washed clean by recent rain. Lily's son Liam dozed off on Ethan's shoulder, his little arms loosely wrapped around his neck. Lily looked at him, this man who had stepped out of a luxury office and into her small, chaotic life, and then whispered, "You know, I was afraid to meet you that night. I thought I wasn't enough." Ethan looked back at her, his blue eyes steady. "You were more than enough. You were real." They stopped in front of her apartment building. For a long moment, neither spoke. The sound of the city faded, replaced by the heartbeat of something new, something fragile but true. He gently set Liam down and turned to her. "Lily, you showed me what success looks like when it's not measured in money or fame. But in moments like this," she smiled, her eyes misty, "and you reminded me that kindness still exists in this world." Weeks turned into months. Ethan began spending more time in Brooklyn than in his Manhattan penthouse. He helped Lily set up an online art store, quietly promoting her work without ever taking credit. Her paintings began to sell, not because of fame, but because people felt the heart behind every brushstroke. One sunny afternoon, as they walked through the same park where Ethan had first lifted Liam into the air, the boy ran ahead, laughing. Ethan reached for Lily's hand. She didn't pull away. "Do you ever think about how strange life is?" she asked. "I do," he said softly. "Sometimes you chase everything you think you want, only to find what you need sitting right across a dinner table." Lily laughed gently. "And sometimes that's not a model, but a tired single mom with paint on her hands." Ethan squeezed her hand, smiling. "Exactly." Months later, a news feature titled "From Struggle to Strength, the Artist Who Inspired a CEO" went viral. Reporters called it a love story, but Ethan and Lily didn't care for headlines. They were too busy living it, messy, beautiful and real. And one evening, as they stood together watching Liam paint his first picture, Ethan whispered, "You didn't just steal my heart. Lily, you gave it a home."